So some of these individuals are just waiting for those little opportunity where somebody come in and see them and greet them. And so back to this thing about 21 and with no kids, 33 and with no kids, 44 and with no kids, but you have a house, a car, 2 dogs, you understand, and you have a really good job and a lot of money in your pocket. It's nice to have those, but I don't want us to think that we're here to just hold on to those things that, yes, they're of value, but a companion at a time when you're needing, you know, assistance, having a companion at that time is also very important. So why people don't want to have kids nowadays? Why young women of childbearing age don't want to have kids nowadays? You guys need to think about that. You know, you need to think about that. And I am saying it from a nurse practitioner or from a nurse. I'm saying it from a nurse's perspective. It's important for us to be fruitful and multiply. The Bible says it. So we need to be fruitful and multiply. And why I'm going to talk about the topic here is because I've seen a lot of patients that are alone. They are in a situation where there is nobody there to advocate for them, to care for them. And so I feel the need to just talk a little bit about my experience with a lot of these elderly folks or patients that are disabled that do not have the support that they need at their hand. They don't have the support. A lot of these patients don't have the support that they need at hand when they're in those situations. If you have a subscriber to my channel, I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe, like, share, turn your notification bell on, and most importantly, become a part of the club, become a part of the channel here. All right, I share general information regarding nursing, travel, and lifestyle, and I think it's a pretty decent channel that you can come and hang out with me even if you're not a nurse. All right, but definitely when you're thinking about, you know, for me, when I was a little bit younger, not so much young, but in my 20s, heading into my 30s, it was at that time I felt like I needed a child. I needed somebody in my house to mess up the floor, somebody in my house to get the bed messy, someone in the house to make a little extra noise, because sometimes I felt like the home was just too quiet. So I had my child at, I think I was 31 years old at the time when I had my first child. And it was a wonderful experience. Not the pregnancy, but the entire, well, the feeling of being pregnant was good. My experience with pregnancy was awful. But having a child, seeing that baby, holding him for the first time, you know, seeing him taking baby steps, feeding, hearing those first words or sounds, and just doing all of those little crazy things that children does growing up, it amazes me every day. And even though some days I might say, oh my word, it's tiring, it's a phase, they will eventually get out of that phase, but you have to cherish the little things, cherish those little moments, because you don't see them again unless you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You understand? After that one. But you have to learn to cherish those little moments. And for me to see a lot of persons online be saying that they're not having any kids, they're 33, no kids, 23, no kids. I can understand the 23-year-old, no kids, yeah. 43, no kids, and they have different age group, and it is so funny when you're watching those videos and you're seeing that those persons have achieved certain things in life, and it is good. You understand? It is good. Don't cuss me, but I'm just saying it's nice to add to that as well, that achievement, at least 1 or 2 little pitney, at least 1 or 2 children is a good thing to add to that mix. I understand that in 20s and 30s, you know, you're probably saying that you want to enjoy life a little bit more, but I just personally feel that if you're in your 30s, I think you should probably start thinking about having a child. And this conversation is not really about the, you know, the fact that you're a woman and you need to have a child. It's the fact that when you reach a certain age, you are going to be there alone. You're going to be there alone. You can be in a nursing home, you can be in a group home, or you can be in your home alone. And the feeling is not good. It's not a good feeling. I know that I don't know what it is like, but when I go and see my patients on a daily basis and I see that a lot of these patients are wanting a little company, it saddens me. Some persons are just so excited that they open the door for anybody, any knock they hear. They just run and open the door without even knowing, confirming an appointment with anyone. They just want a knock on the door for persons who are able to ambulate. Much less you have some persons who are bedridden or bedbound, where they're not able to get out to see the light of day. And so they're only depending on the fact that there is going to be a friend, a visitor, that is coming to see them during the daytime. You understand? And for those persons, you can see that they're hoping that it is a familiar face. It is a face that they recognize. Somebody that will come in and give them a little pat on the shoulder, a little rub on the shoulder. Somebody that is gonna come and help them to feed. Because sometimes you go to people in them house, the meals on wheels are still at the door of these folks, these patients. The meals on wheels container are still on the step. You understand? Waiting for somebody to come and see it and bring it inside for the patient. And that is because for these patients, they don't have any relative, they don't have any children. And I'm not saying that all the time your children are going to be there to take care of you, but a lot of the patients, they have somebody who is willing and able. A lot of the patients who have children, they are there, but you also have some that definitely don't have nobody at their bedside, nobody there to help them on a weekly basis to say, okay, I'm gonna cook some food for mommy, or I'm gonna cook some food for my auntie and bring it over there so they can have something warm to eat. They have to be relying on frozen food. They have to be relying on a friend coming over to check on them and bring them some food. You understand? So when you have kids, as I say, not all the time the kids are going to be there. Not all the time the kids are going to be in your corner, but you have some of them, because you don't know what you're going to put out, you know. You don't know what kind of child you're going to put out. You have to just make sure that when you have your children, you grow them right. So that way later on when you're in a position of need, they are there advocating for you, taking care of you, and making sure that you get the best care ever because you did something good for them when they were younger. You understand? And so, like, going in a lot of times and seeing these patients, it pains me a lot because, as I say, I'm not expecting it. The amount of persons that are out there that don't have a relative or a friend sometimes. You have persons in their 80s, 90s-year-old, and they don't have a daughter, they don't have a son to come and help them on their dying bed. Sometimes you're there and you're just listening to sad stories after sad stories of these patients who wanted or wish they had a child or wish they had a better relationship with their children, their family members, because now they're alone in bed, not able to have somebody bring a cup of water to them when they need it, except the house call service that do come in to see them and provide them with an aid, provide them with different services that allows for somebody to come to their house and knock and say, okay then, let me check on this person because I have medications to deliver. Let me check on this person because I'm going to be doing a physical therapy with this person. Let me check on this person because I'm doing the house call visit once a month. And the list goes on and on and on and on. So some of these individuals are just waiting for those little opportunity where somebody come in and see them and greet them. And so back to this thing about 21 and with no kids, 33 and with no kids, 44 and with no kids, but you have a house, a car, 2 dogs, you understand, and you have a really good job and a lot of money in your pocket. It's nice to have those, but I don't want us to think that we're here to just hold on to those things that, yes, they're of value, but a companion at a time when you're needing, assistance, having a companion at that time is also very important. So I hope that persons are not saying this and not thinking about probably 5 years from now not having kids or wanting kids, because kids are very important. They are very important. We might not see it now, but later on they serve a purpose. And we're not saying you're going to have kids who come now, we're going to take care of you, We're not saying that. You don't know the outcome of your life, and so you can't just think that because you don't have any kids, you can't just think that you don't want any kids, because later on they serve their purpose. It's just the way of life. You understand? It's just the way of life. We were put on earth to go ahead and have kids, be fruitful and multiply. That's what we were placed on earth for. So even the animals know that when they're gonna die, they need to go now and start couple up. It's the same thing for us as humans, or else our population are gonna die out. But it's not really about the population that is dying out that I'm concerned about. It's the fact that when you, who have spent all of your time on earth, and you don't have any loved one that is that close to you to come and give you that extra rub on the shoulder, wipe down your face, get some of those flies out of your face, rub down your legs and moisturize it. You understand? Call the nurse and annoy the nurse every second to come and change your mother and your father. Have the nurse come and warm up the food for your mother. Change the bed linen for your mother because it's full of hair, it's full of food crumbs, all of those things. You are gonna be in a situation like that. Just think of it. It's not something that you're planning towards, but one way or the other, you could be in a group home, you could be in a nursing home. You are gonna find yourself in an uncomfortable position, just like some of these patients that I am seeing. So all of the money that you have, yes, it can save you sometimes, but save it to what extent or for how long? Because the money eventually it will finish. You understand? A lot of these patients, they're just so alone, they're dying alone, and that's just the end of it. That's just the end of it. And it's just a sad situation for all of my elderly folks out there that I do not like. I do not like to see it. Just a sad situation, seeing that this is what our elderly population, especially those persons who, they are there, and you're hoping that in their last days they're dying feeling happy, having friends, loved ones around their children around there. It's just so sad seeing that these individuals are dying and they don't have loved ones around them, they don't have children around them to give them that last touch, therapeutic touch. Alright? We don't have that. And I just feel as though some of these persons are dying asking, what if I had known that this is how life would have ended for me? Nobody there to drop 1 or 2 tears. Nobody there to help me. So, as I say, this is just something that is on my heart, because, as I say, I've seen so many persons in their last days, so many persons that are sick, wanting that extra person there, somebody there to advocate for them a little bit better or a little bit more, and they are nowhere to be found. As I said, some of them do have children, but them gone. They're not taking care of them. Some of them definitely don't have any children, and it's the same thing for them. So I just want us to think about this. You understand? Think about it. We were placed on earth for a purpose. Yes, we were placed on earth for a purpose, not only to enjoy ourselves, but to multiply, get some of our names, generations from now to be calling to say, well, that my grandmother didn't name Stacy Ann. You understand them way there? Yeah, man, let it be said that you had 10, 20 pitney out a road there. I if you go have so much now though, you know. But I just say, let him know that you had some children on earth. So people can always have your name being called for good reason. Because if my grandparents and their grandparents, parents, and the, you know, the list goes back. If they never took up the opportunity to go ahead and have children, me one of the so I tell you now to go and have at least one. You understand? Enjoy life. You can't be a woman out there and not enjoy at least one child. You understand? And I understand that there are certain things that causes persons to not want to have kids. So the situations are different, but outside of issues that we cannot change or situations that we cannot change, I just feel as though this is a topic that we need to talk about a little bit more, encourage persons a little bit more to think about, so we can all have our names written down in the book to say that it's because of me, it's because of you why this offspring is here today. You understand? So definitely think about it. Alright, but definitely go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page and share your insight, as well as remember to follow me on TikTok at ThinkNursing1. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Alright, I will see you in the next video. Bye.